Aha! Disengo, Joey. Wakava, my baby, twambe usonga. Wakava, kaswiti, twambe uwina. Mama meka na kusaku wanye ni maela. Mama mekwa umasaku wanye ni mona. Niwa mawekyo samba sange wasiamana. Measia tulisoma chinyini nagu. Mateseka na wendo wito ndiwa moja. Mateseka na wendo wito ni wakishua ndekulia. Tele maiva ni utongoza. Tele maiva uine namba. Tele maiva tuichaji. Ginokalika boksi yawa. Eka malonze nimeubinya singila singila kandolo kokele kandolo kokele ai Tabiende to si moyo, abaukawa tabiende to si lato. Wendo wi moyo uira utetanga. Kiteli cha kucha wendo ni changwatisye. Kiteli cha kucha wendo ni chanasye. Mapenzi maku makite undwa chonze. Mapenzi maku makite undwa kelai. Niwa mawetyo samba sange wasiamana. Measia tulisoma chinyini nagu. Mateseka na wendo wito ndiwa moja. Mateseka na wendo wito ni wakishua ndekulia. Tele maiva ni utongoza. Tele maiva uine namba. Tele maiva tuichaji. Ginokalika boksi yawa. Eka malonze nimeubinya singila singila. Aha, Sengo, Joey. Wakava, my baby, twambe usonga. Wakava, kaswiti, twambe uwina. Mama meka na kusaku wanye ni maela. Mama mekwa umasaku wanye ni mona. Niwa mawetyo samba sange wasiamana.
That's the lesson for the night. Samson to LIBERIA Puerto Rico. I want to thank all of you that have been tuning in and listening. Thank you very much. A lesson for tonight. You never take anything for granted. I've always come on. I have all my apparel, everything ready, my mic and everything. And so when I tune it up, I put the music on. I thought I had my mic and I started talking. You never take nothing for granted. Make sure you do your work. And this is the lesson for the night. But safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again for tonight. We want to thank you for bringing us back here again tonight. We want to thank you, my Lord. You are the only one that can do what you continue to do. Thank you for the protection. Thank you for our lives. Thank you for all the blessings that you pour on us every day. My Lord, without you, we will be nowhere. And we ask you to continue to forgive us, open your arms to us, and we will be glad. My Lord, thank you. We're just here as human beings. You have total control. And we put ourselves in your hands every day. Every day, my Lord, you are the only one that has the ability to wake us up every day. And you do that. And we want to appreciate that. And we want to thank you. We want to thank you. Thank you for all the family that are alive. Thank you for all the family that are struggling. Lord, we know you're going to make it. We know you're going to give them the opportunity. All of us, you have given us opportunity. Continue to give us opportunity. We say thank you. Thank you, my Lord. Lord Jesus, we ask you to bless the country of Liberia. Bless the leadership of Liberia. Give them wisdom to do what is good for Liberia. My Lord, will also ask to bless the host country of the United States. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, folks. And okay, we have people in the background already, but tonight's show I can see already. It's gonna be a doozy. But anyhow, let's go ahead. Folks, I will bring you Mr. George and oh, that's it. Okay. Whoa, this is gonna be a good one tonight. I bet it says here, to be honest with you, before I open the show, I was hoping you would show up, because what I have to show here tonight will truly test all of us, our ability to claim certain level of understanding, and I'll go into that. But first, thank you guys. Tonight program. What the heck? No, what? But anyway, first thing first, we say thank you guys. Let me bring these gentlemen in so we can start the program right away. This is Amos Joyce, who is the central right here on LPR, and this is Sissy. I'm still trying to get him, but he's so smart. He's a Minnesota politician. The next day, I think he's coming my way. Another day, oh, he's somewhere else. So what like that? Mr. So is not going to be here tonight. He's also doing some serious honor cover. Let's put it that way. Seriously, he's taking care of some business work and stuff like that. So he's not going to be with us here tonight. I hope Delaka will be, Jay will be here. But folks, let's just start the program. I want to thank all of you. Let's just start the program. Sissy, what's on your plate tonight, you think?
Oh man, my plate has been full a long time ago. I'm just now looking to borrow from Mr. George's plate. But no, I'm still reeling from the after UNGA stuff. You know, the dog issue, the ballot, the law, and all that stuff. You know, I'm still reeling from that. And the Miami and Monrovia comparison. You know, just trying to find people picking up trash on the south side of Miami in Monrovia today. You know, just checking to see if the mayor is not dressed up in all yellow or orange. What color was that, Mr. George? Call my uncle. I want to be respectful.
I'm well.
What's on your plate, Mr. George?
This is a goal. I'm the city mayor tonight. Acting city mayor. Proxying for him.
Thank you. Sissy, I just want
to. The jacket is black actually. So but the mayor had a whole gold suit. So
I never really. But anyway, I'm too old to even try to venture into the way you young people dress nowadays. But Sissy, thank you for that opening. But I also been viewing those videos, and I'll play them here tonight. And I've been taking a different tone on it. Maybe because I'm coming at this position from a perspective of neutral, so to speak, or realistic. So, you know, I don't know. I don't want to characterize myself on how I come into this here tonight. But look, Sissy, you made a point here about the dog and what have you. I'm not too sure if that house is in Miami or if that house is in New York.
It's in New York, man.
Okay, all right. But here's what I want to say here quickly. Sissy, go ahead. Before I come out, go ahead. Give it to me. Give me what you have.
Well, so here's my issues with the dog and the house and the golden ball trophy, right? Did the president really have to stoop that low to validate anything somebody's saying about him? If people are saying that you cannot travel beyond 25 miles away.
Oh, no, it's in the background.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. If my baby here watching ABC, ABC, A for Apple, all that crazy, doing double duties, watching my baby and playing on politics. But did the president really have to stoop that low to people who say he can't travel outside of 25-mile radius? First thing is, this president always elevates people or things that should not be elevated. He did that with Prophet Key. I didn't know who Prophet Key was until the president said in his church that there is a guy that keeps insulting a man named Prophet Key. Everybody started Googling and looking for Prophet Key. You elevate that man. I always say that my own cousin, Yeke Kolba, he made Yeke Kolba the political icon that Yeke Kolba is today because they argue about stuff that got no reason being argued about. And so when you come to the UN General Assembly and people say, as the president, you cannot travel outside of 25 miles radius, do you really want to respond to those people? And the way to respond to those people is that to be that high schoolish, childish thing to go and play with a dog and then go stay in the house. And then now the problem I got is that I keep saying on this show, Mr. Tool, that the president needs to fire a lot of people. If his team decided that they were going to do that as a political tactic to push back against people who were saying that he cannot travel more than 25 miles radius of the enclave of the United Nations. Then how can they even put anything into it? Like you want to be cold? I always tell people, my children in my classroom, that's not smart people get fired. You want to be smart. Why didn't they at least rent furniture to put in the house? The house was empty. You could hear the echo in the background from the recording. You got only one couch and a table, right? So they couldn't even rent furniture and put in there for proxy. And if you want to show that the president has a residence in New York or Miami, wherever they want to make it look like, why keep his most prized possession, at least one of them, in a crate that looks like either came from a storage or have been shipped to you? How can they take that out and put that on the stage somewhere that is already there before you start to record? Like just some of these little bitty things. The president is saying bye to the dog in the video. Bye-bye, Roxy, and go back now. And then you close the gate. And then you go in the house to have their stuff. Right? So here's the other piece about the dog. The president loves this dog. He's trying to show us that he loves this dog so much. But for 4 years, you've been without a dog. How long does it take? How much does it cost the president to send that dog to Liberia to live with him? I would be willing to start a fund drive to get our dog to Liberia for the president. That dog will live with you at the mansion, wherever you live. Don't keep the dog here for 4 years and then come and go try to play with a dog and leave and go. Let the dog be there, bro. Show the dog love. The dog is a part of your family. Don't abandon your family member like that. So I just thought that whoever did that did a disservice to the president. And then the last thing, the original video that got posted, I know Sekou Kalasco did that recording with a dog. When you're doing a recording of the president of the Republic of Liberia, but for God's sake, turn off the geotagging, geolocation on your phone. You take pictures with geotagging on. People can just take the geotagging, put them in longitude and latitude, and find out where you at. For security, can they tell Kalasco when he's recording the president to turn off the geolocator on his phone, please? Geotagging on the pictures he's taking on the videos. For me, that is a matter of national security. That is just. You're mute, Mr.
Oh, you talking to me?
Sorry, I mean, this is since it got me off on the wrong foot tonight. I'm gonna try to find my footing. That's okay, Mr. George. Go ahead, give it to us.
Yeah, I just want to know. One of the things is that the host, but then I'm going to the UN. I start viewing the photos. They shake hand of the president with the diplomats. I saw two things there that caught my eye, that caught my attention. And the last one is Liberia now establishing diplomatic relationship with Jamaica. I think this is another means to pull Jamaica into Liberia again. They had the Burkinabes out there. What do we get from Jamaica? Yeah? What we get from Jamaica establishing diplomatic ties with them? They were guessing it for us. George Weah is already in the place exploring, talking about market garbage drain, also make Liberia something. And this is now just to legalize that so these people now can be flying to Liberia now. But here's the thing here. Let me go to have the picture. Everybody has said that the person cannot travel more than 25-mile radius out of New York. If the president wants to dispute that, let him just show the visa. What kind of visa he got, whether it's restricted visa or not. Let it just show that part. Then the whole argument is over. But again, and I'll say this, I said he abandoned that door. That's a founding members. He abandoned that door. 4 years ago, every year the man come to, except for COVID, but the past year he came to New York. Why didn't he go to visit that dog? Not to say this is his first trip here. If that's the first trip, we can see. But he been coming here. And he never gone to that house to say, well, let me just drop by at my house to see what is going on. He never did that. That this time that he going there, trying to do a photo up. But you see, this 21st century, this DNA, you cannot hide. You can't lie to the people. Okay? Look at the house, the physical appearance of the house. Is that thing that people are living in that house on a 24-hour basis? No. Now, why he could not tell the people what state he was in? To point out I can say, look, okay, we arrived at Miami, we are leaving the airport, driving to my house, period. But all of a sudden, just saw a photo of the president in front of the house, trying to put the door, trying to ignore him. He trying to prep the door, but the door trying to ignore him. 4 years gone. Like the lady, look at Louis said, father gone. Never to come back again. And you show up one day and you want the door to be happy? Come on, the door's got feeling. So then the box that the precious, the president is in, look away in a box. Send that house you reside in. Why wouldn't be put on the share, on the divider? But you can see him opening the thing from the box that they have mailed it to him or in some storage, which of course maybe they got it at the bank because it's so precious. So it must be the bank vault because they can't keep it in a storage. Someone could break in there. So the best will put in the bank vault, and they just when they say, hey, we just burn it for 1 hour or 2 hours, we bring it back. And that's just why it shows. Again, Sekou Carrasco, this ball, I'm going to ball. He's not the press secretary. He's not a member of the press crew. But again, everything Sekou Carrasco is posting. Sekou Carrasco, you are an aide to the president. You are an olive to the president. It's not your responsibility to even speak on national issue. No good government. No good government. You will see the aide to the president behaving like that, speaking, giving interview. I bet anybody who saw, let's say Doe, who saw the aide camp giving press conferences. So God is not aide camp, in fact, he's the olive. He's the one that carried the president, maybe take it closer, get everything. That's his job. His job is not to be taking picture, posting picture. That's not part of it. But again, you know, Cesar's a teacher. It's like Cesar go and take a second grade student and make him principal for a ninth grade school. So now you are taking that second grade, you are now going to put him in the office of a junior high school. Imagine what will happen there. This is what the Sekou Carrasco they are doing because they do not know the role they're supposed to play. And there's no big boy in the room to say, hey, this is not your function. You are here, The person need a cup of water, he call you, you give him a cup of water. He need a letter, he call you, say, go give me that letter. That's your job. The press people are the one to be posting picture and giving interview, not you. But again, there's nobody there. So you see, everything is just upside down. The last one is this diplomatic relationship. Maybe say so help you, not will help me. What will we get from Jamaica establishing the relationship? What will we get? For me, I just feel it's another way now to fly all the Jamaican into Liberia to go have to exploit and let it get rich at the back of the Liberian people. Because that's another reason I see.
Okay. Jay, thank you for joining us.
Lastly,
okay.
The UN thing. So you said maybe you look at the pictures. Is that a way to greet a diplomat? President WEAH uses two hands to hold Lena Greenfield's hand. Look at it. That's not protocol. Then he shook John Kerry's hand. But when he got to the Secretary of State, he showed his hand. The man just brought his hand on the sheet, his knuckles. They're not even extended on the sheet, on the decks, on the table in front of him. Couldn't bring it, never extended it, never even the palm, never extended it. He just had it on the table like this. And President WEAH's hand was like this. He never shook his hand. The knuckle, he didn't even extend it to say, hey, face bond. No. He just put it on the desk in front like that and look into George WEAH's face. I think that was an insult to the President of the Republic of Liberia. Let me stop right there.
Thank you. Jay, I know you're just coming in and we're just trying to bring what's on the plate here for each of us. I will be the last. So do you have a specific topic that you want to talk to us about? Your meters, okay, go ahead. We still can't hear you. We can't hear you.
So can you hear me now?
Much better. Except the video is going crazy on us.
Sorry. Forgive me.
The man driver will come in. She can't show the people that hear him.
Yeah. I know. I just saw coming when the camera fell. I saw coming in the background there.
I'm using the phone. That's why. But okay. Thank you again for another day to discuss about our country. I mean, the good thing about everything is that we are looking at the power march of our country. We all can recognize the pitfalls, the drawbacks, the challenges, the failure, some way or another. What is on my plate today will be basically about the state of affairs of our country as we speak, with the hike in price of the staple food or commodity in our country, and the challenge to even get such commodity is important to me today. The rice increment and lack of rice on the market. I intend not to dive into President WEAH address at the United Nations heavily, because I think he did not intend that Liberians will have their input or suggestions, so he did not inform them prior to leaving. And we're hearing numbers in New York. But what is even more shameful is for the president to come under speculations of a 25-mile radius, and the president intend to disprove the 25-mile radius by another bold-faced lie, and not just a lie to have traveled from where he was in New York to the United Nations to that of Queens, but to also make his wife or his own property, because a wife property and property, to be exposed by diagram of people's search because he wants to prove a point. So that president, every time he tries, even with the lobby in the international community at the US, he always find another thing that will undermine the credibility for the very thing that he's trying to show and disprove others of. This is not only embarrassing, it is appalling, it is image damaging, it reduces the essence of our country. And so I would not like to stay so much on it, but I'm concerned about some of the things that he said, and least that he mentioned about the recommendation or the goodwill that have been interplayed so that international partners can see it as a reason to make intervention. He talked about reducing carbon dioxide emission. We're in a country that we boycott than any other thing. We're in a country that is dead writings without an innovation from the city mayor. We're in a country that received $350 million US for special drawing rights through the IMF 2021, just last year, to reduce inflation, to create an opportunity for a balance, a trade of balance, a balance of payment, through export and import. 240 million for extended credit facility IMF, our international partners again, 2019, to also do the same, just to keep our inflation at a float. Yet we have rice price increasing, yet we have a country that the same international people have to make intervention about rule of law and sanction officials that our president who has within his rank, within the authority given him, within the oath he took, within that statement that he made at SKD, that it is not the eloquence of my speeches, but the quality of my decision. The quality of your decision, Mr. President, is that you have been given the legal authority by the Constitution of Liberia to appoint a dismiss at your will and pleasure. And when an allegation or almost an indictment or what we call a sanction have been placed by an institution that is believed to be highly credible and an exemplary one, and you refuse to dismiss those officials, but instead asking them to write a letter of resignation, it is embarrassing, it is appalling, it does not hold my feet anywhere to inject Mr. Cummings, who has the authority to make such intervention.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay. I think all of you spoke, and I didn't say nothing. I'm very, very quiet, and I'm going to be very quiet here tonight after I throw a few things out there. Jay, if you are not clearly defined in a way on this platform as being not just a sympathizer, but I think we all recognize now that you are a member of the ANC. And in fact, you told us some time ago that for a short distance, near future, that there will be no daylight between you and Honorable Comey. So if you were just a guest or just an ordinary moderator or commentator on this, I would ask you to use a different language than the word lied. But I are truly an opposition, so I'm not going to dictate to you what type of words you need to use. It's up to you. But this is what I want to do here. I heard all of you guys, and I agree with many of the things that you stated here in terms of the president elevating people, as you corrected today. I agree with that. And I think the president perhaps need to stop these things. He just did it with reply to reply the other day that we were on here from Cummings. And he just did that again this time around. But let us also recognize that he's a human being. And like every one of us, he's evolving. I'm sure the next time, now that people would tell them, when you go places, you turn your location off a phone or help people know where you are. And all they need to do, put in the GPS and just go into the latitude, longitude, and they know exactly where you are. And that's exactly what you spoke about. This is what I want to look at here tonight. Sissy, Jay is not here now. Okay, Jay coming back. Okay. Sissy, Jay, and Mr. George. what I want to say here is some video that I have viewed quite recently from Dr. WEAH. And this video enlightened me on certain aspect of his behavior. And first of all, I want to thank God that he's not a talkative person. I think if you are somebody who likes to talk, there will be no place, no room whatsoever for opposition. This man, and I just did that here this evening when I opened my show. Usually when I come out, connect all my stuff, and then I started talking. Well, when I did that, I didn't connect everything. I put the music on, put the music on playing, so I thought I was connected. I started talking. I took it for granted. If any one of us, and I will include myself in that position, on a very serious note, if we want the state power to turn over, there's no way this man should be taken for granted. These UN, he shake and think, those things are sidetracking, and they are actually taking our eyes off of the ball. The video that I'm going to be showing you here tonight, many of you have watched it, but I want you to look at it again critically. Remove yourself from an opposition standpoint and just look at it. Say specifically, as a mathematician, I want you to listen to and look at it, and just listen to the word and tell me, what do you still feel? Because that was your introduction. What do you still feel that what the president stated is actually equating Miami with Liberia in that term? I want you guys to please listen to it, because I truly believe that this president, why people think that oh, he's not educated and what have you, it's a joke. Despite not whether he's educated or not, he's very intelligent and he's very smart. Listen to this here, and I'll come around. I want you when I play this, I come around. I just want you to remove yourself a little bit from the criticism and whatever. Just tell me exactly what you think this man is saying here. Just act like this is your first time listening to it. And I'll start with Sissy. Sissy, let me play this and we'll come back to you.
The reason in Liberia, Monrovia is Molly. Yes. Today, if you go to Monrovia, it's like Miami.
Sissy, did you hear anything different than what you introduced the show with?
No, I think I seen him maybe post a little bit. That's the only difference I seen right now. Look, Mr. So let's be fair. I every time on this show, I've always said that George is an educated. As a matter of fact, I've always listed a university graduate with a master's degree, DeVry. I've always said that over and over. And this man is counted by his degree amongst the most educated class in the world. People with master's degree. There are very few, right? So I've never taken him for anything less than being smart.
But I just want to go around the room and then
the president did say that in the past, when it rained, Monrovia would be muddy. So in the past, before he took the presidency, in the past, when he was a senator with oversight responsibility of public works and everything, in the past, Monrovia was muddy. Apparently, that is not his fault, even though he was taking money as a senator and he had oversight responsibility. But now that he's president, Monrovia now looks like Miami.
Okay.
So I still see the same
So
thing.
you still stand. Okay. In fact, you are modified, not modified, but you are amplified.
On the south side of Miami, if they pick up their trash today or what they
Okay. Josh, what do you make of it?
Okay. I'm taking my political hat from India.
Right.
But if I'm making that a comparison and no modification, it means that you are comparing Monrovia to Miami.
Okay.
If if he was to modify to say because of the swamp, lowland, then and we'll go after and then someone said no.
Okay.
He modified the language.
Okay. Okay. Let me go to Sister. Sister, what do you think?
Oh.
Well, the problem there is, even if he had modified it, because there's the thing, he said before, right? So he said, oh, that these things didn't happen before. So he has said because of the swamplands, I would have even been more pissed off with him. Because they would have been suggesting that there was swampland in Monrovia before he became president. Like somehow he created it.
Okay, let me go to Jay. Jay, what do you think? Jay, can you hear me? But we can't hear you. You got to unplug that stuff there.
Yeah, man.
I can hear you.
Yeah. What do you think? When you listen to the video, what do you think?
I think the video came.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. Okay. I don't want you to get yourself. I don't want to. Let's forget it.
I'm coming. I'm finding it difficult. I want to compare, Monrovia with Miami.
Okay. All right. You're taking the scene line. I agree. So what I want you guys to
whether it's literary expression, whatever form of explanation it is, I'm finding it difficult to phantom in my head and process.
Okay. All right.
Monrovia came into being with Miami or USA.
Okay. Okay. I got three. After this, I got 3 more videos.
But just 1 second, yeah. I think, let me interject something. I think the person is so obsessed with the Miami thing that even around his home area, because I was just in Monrovia, around his home area, they call it Little Miami in Liberia.
Okay. Okay. I think what you guys are trying to do now is well, I'm not gonna go there because I know exactly what you guys, but I'll leave that with the audience. Let me play this again, and then I'll tell you what's happening here, folks. And since Jay and Mr. George, you guys are educated people, and I know in your lifetime you guys have taken tests, many tests, and there are sometimes you take a test, and it's just a simple answer. But you try, they make it seem like something there that you perhaps need to do more. And this is exactly what this video has done here. And let me play it, then I'll come back to you. Hold on.
In Liberia, Monrovia is Mali. Yes. Today, if you go to Monrovia, it's like Miami.
When you listen again,
Hello.
Hold on.
In Liberia, Monrovia is Mali. Yes. Today, if you go to Monrovia.
Okay.
Now, let me inject a little to just provide a leeway out. When you are communicating.
No, Jay, you can't do that to us. You've already thrown your hat in there. Let us don't do that. Here's what I think, and I could be wrong. This is what he's saying. If you go to Monrovia, when it's raining, it's muddy. Today, is it raining when he said today? Hold on, sister. I just told you. You guys, this is the smartness of this guy. Like to provoke. I'm telling you, he likes. I mean, if I'm gonna play some more video, he likes to provoke, so to get a reaction. The only good thing about him that is quite different from Donald Trump is that he doesn't like to talk. But if you listen to this video, when he said today, when it's raining, the mud in Monrovia. Today, if you go to Monrovia, it's just like Miami. Listen to this. Seriously. After that, did he make any other comment? No, he just left it up with the audience to improvise, to fill it in, just like we're doing now. Now, yes, they're smart about that. Let me make my point, guys, please. Yes, they're smart about that, as far as I see it. When he made that statement, first thing is, you can take it any way you want. But let's look at it from a logical standpoint. It's not raining in Liberia when he made that statement. It's not raining in Miami when he made that statement. The statement for me has nothing to do with filth. We know Monrovia is filthy. The statement for me has nothing to do with dirt. We know Monrovia is dirty. I know that. But for him to come out and compare Miami, so what happened? Why every one of us excluding the weather aspect of it? Which is, I'm serious. I'm serious, because you can't hold him, you cannot tie him down on this and say, Mr. President, this is no. And this is the smart that I'm talking about. He left it open. So, for example, if this was a debate and he left that door and the moderator come back, he can switch anytime, and you will not be able to tell. This guy used to play football. We might not play with him. We shouldn't play with him. And I'll show you some more video. Go ahead. Let's start with Jay. Jay, take it away. What am I saying that is wrong? And Jay, your video is upside down, by the way. Are you there? No, he's not. Okay. All right, Sister, go ahead. Go ahead. Sister, can you hear me?
Yeah. So as you were speaking, I went in to the National Weather Service to do my research on the temperatures in Miami and Monrovia. They were not even comparable. They were like 20 degrees apart. So
was it raining? Was it raining?
So it wasn't. So that's the point.
Okay.
We didn't say rain. We didn't talk about rain. Right? You said, here's the point. Hold on. In mathematics, and you're an engineer, when you create a function, that function now limits the domain. What can be talked about in there? Right?
Yeah.
If I'm talking about quadratics, if I'm saying, we're talking quadratic equations, and we are limiting ourselves to the real numbers. Now you, Mr. Thor, when you solve it and you get a negative number under the square root.
Well, let me quickly interject. No, hold on. No, Sister, you can't do this. Okay, no, we can't do that. This is what I'm saying to you. You just prove my point by bringing in a function.
Allow me to learn, then you say my point.
Okay, go ahead. So I can. Okay, go ahead.
If you tell me now a negative square root is not a solution because we have not extended our domain to include the complex number, we say yes, because that's a function. Dr. WEAH's function he created said, when it rained in Monrovia back in the day, he said, when it used to rain in Monrovia. So the function now we're looking at when it is raining in Monrovia. Therefore, because that's the if and the then, that's just logical connection.
When it is raining, that's what we put in the function machine. In the function machine, we put in when it's raining.
Hold on, Mr. So, and therefore, because you did not have anything else between there, the conversation, the connecting sentence that came as a support, because you used as a supporting sentence to say, today in Monrovia, it looks like Miami. The president was saying that because he laid that as a raining, ergo, the connection to Monrovia right now in BSK rainy season in Liberia was linking to the rain. The point the president was trying to make here is that he is responsible for there being more filth in Monrovia.
That was not a part of the equation. You're putting your own in there.
There was nothing split between the next sentence was a supporting statement. Okay. So a thesis statement. He made a thesis statement and he had a supporting statement. The supporting statement was explaining a thesis statement, which was back in the day, Monrovia used to look like it used to be muddy when it rained. That was a thesis statement. Therefore, here's what we have done to choose a supporting statement. He didn't say anything else besides that. Between that.
Okay, let's go with Mr. George. Mr. George, what do you make of mine?
Mr. Toll.
Yes.
The English the man spoke. He said, back.
That good English,
Huh?
That good English.
Yeah. So
I can't believe you did that.
then the connected. What followed there is that compare it like Miami. He said it like Miami. This time, September in Liberia, that one rained for 7 days straight. Miami, what happened there now? Sunshine in Miami.
Okay.
So,
all right.
When the president made the kind of statement, it's not that people are saying this man is highly educated, master degree, highly educated. Nobody,
and that's my point.
So let me say that to you.
Go ahead.
You are in a constant habit of saying that George, the people say he's not educated. George Weah, stop it. George Weah is highly educated. He's among the caliber of African leaders. So I don't want you, if you want to say he's not educated, you can say, but don't use the people. Don't say the people say.
Oh, I got evidence. I got proof. I got video. I got writings everywhere.
You know that this man graduated with a master's degree. So you don't go back to say the people say, the people say. You know the man has a master's degree.
Okay.
Don't you agree?
No, I'm saying people say, because I know who said. I got paper here. This paper right here in front of me. It states that.
Mr. Mr. If someone said that you don't have a degree in engineering,
and that's what I said people say. I have what people are saying.
No, listen. If someone said that you don't have a degree in engineer, says it doesn't have a degree in electrical engineer, and I know Sese, I will not quote those people again because I know Sese has a degree in electrical engineering. You has a degree in road construction. So why should I continue to say the people say Samson doesn't have a degree? The people say no. You know.
Okay, I think we're very off here. Let me go to Jake. Jake, what problem do you have with my assertion here?
Sorry, very quickly. Thank you.
Go ahead.
I think it is unreasoning that we are asking this question to establish as to the way of the interpretation of the president's statement. And if we do that, we cannot exclude the president's statement during the inauguration when he said that people should not look at the fluency of his speeches. So that it brings in education, which have been some of the speculation to the extent to which people are measuring the president years to years to honor himself, unlike the rest of the world, in terms of delivering United Nations General Assembly speech. So somebody will say the president's speech 2018-19 is better than the president's speech 2022 is better than the president's speech 2019. They're saying the president's speech is better than other world leaders' speeches, but they measure the president by himself from strength to strength. That one not bad. But what is of concern in this conversation of Miami, Nibeko, and then Monrovia in comparison? Is it just as we have researched now, the 83 degree in Miami and the 88 degree in Monrovia, is it the educative aspect that the president has selected for?
Why that line? Why the question that I have for all of you guys is why that line was not something that you will use to introduce? As I said, correctly stated here. And let me hold on, Jay, please, just give me a minute.
That's a question good. He asked a question very good.
Let me okay, go ahead. I'll bring in
important for us. Take for example, you heard the interlocking challenges of the world. Interlocking challenges of the world. How is 83 degree and 88 degree an interlocking challenge? In that challenge, in that delegate thing that President Weah listed, there are interlocking challenges that he could highlight. If you look at
another thing you guys are missing.
Let me explain 30 seconds. If you look at Liberia, you know that the carbon dioxide emission increases in Liberia because we burn plastic bags. We don't put it in a rightful and appropriate areas. They go to clog out the drainage system and increase the issue of flood in the communities. We are not following protocols. The people told us that in a Mesurado,
you're into campaigning more now. You have left out. You have left
there.
Jay, you left us already. We're still. We'll get back to the campaign more. But let's just deal with this here separate right now. But here is the thing that I want to say also. The question that I ask is, why didn't you guys take this weather phenomenon that I just introduced? Why was it not part of your calculation? I mean, calculus when you started making the remark about the president's statement? And then Cesar brought in what I thought was one of the brilliance to defend myself, that I should have used that, but I didn't, because I'm not a mathematician. I'm scared of math. But the point here is, Cesar is telling us when you introduce a function, okay, in that function, in fact, what I know about total function machine, what you put inside, what you get outside. Okay, if you don't put coal there, you're not gonna get coal outside. Oh. You put bread inside, you put cornbread inside, you get because that's that. And when you're hungry, that's how you do. That's how you talk about a function machine in total. You put cornbread inside, you get cornbread. Other than that, you get. These are things that get people, some of us, interested in math, because you're hungry and the teacher telling you function machine. Then he's thinking to himself, how can I make these people to remember function? Oh, you put cornbread inside, you get cornbread. But no, look, seriously, guys. So the point here is, the president, what he did, and that's what I thought, that he was very smart. He didn't box himself. He did not box himself. He left it up to audience and everybody else to make their point. Let me go on to another video. I have 3 videos here tonight, and then after that, then we're going to go.
Just 1 second, yeah, just 1 second. Forgetting about that whole thing, the man laid a premise, he was supporting a premise. Don't forget about that. But I think the president undercut his own speech at the UN General Assembly with that video. And I think the president missed a moment. I would have loved to hear my president say, it used to be muddy in Liberia, and we've done some work. But we want Liberia maneuver to look like Miami. We need help from the United Nations. Global warming is threatening our country. Just like sand beaches have been built and barriers have been built here to support and prop up an island, Miami, we are asking for those same help from the United Nations, because those are solutions for interlocking challenges, right? So I would have really loved for the president to have said that we want Liberia to look like Miami. We want you to help us. We have been doing some work. We've built some roads. It is not as muddy as it used to be when it rained. We are expecting the United Nations to help. I would have really loved the president to say that. I would have applauded him very much. But again, maybe we're reading too much into something. So I'll let you.
All right. Let me play this other one, where the president, without missing a word, or the word, or whatever it is, he came out and told us that he's going to be re-elected without missing anything. And for me, it's very interesting, because then perhaps what I've been saying here on this platform forever and ever, he just proved me. He didn't come to this position because of his leadership ability, but he came in based on popularity. And he still believes that he's very popular still. And there's 2 videos to that to support that team. But let me play this one. It's very rough. Because I couldn't do anything else with it, so I have to play all of magic to get that. But let me play this, and then we can discuss that. And then immediately after that, we'll go to Mr. George. Mr. George, you'll be the first to open that.
All doing anything that people getting amended, and with me from 2005 to date, we're all doing anything. I've done something. Trust me, I'll be re-elected.
Trust me, I haven't done anything. I didn't do anything there with me from 2005 to this point, and now that I've done something, now again, now again, the smart of this president, without him being specific, he said he have done something. So now he's leaving it to all of us to put in this function machine what we think he has done or what we think he hasn't done. Mr. George, go ahead.
Yeah, let me say this. He had no record to run on first thing. Nobody could challenge him. that you are this, you are this. It was not there. And so that narrative to say 2005, I didn't do nothing. And 2007, they elected me. Now I have done so now. Why do you think I will not be elected? But Mr. President, look at your country that you are almost 5 years. Where it's heading? So are you telling me the Liberian people are that dumbfounded? Do we just say, okay, because he built 1 or 2 rules, we want to let him go for the 12 years? And every presidential candidate, even incumbent or expiring, they will always say, I will win the election. So the statement he's making there, for me, I want to see how he going to, but that statement is a pure campaign speech, right? That's the campaign speech right there. Because those are the things that they will be using. That I didn't do anything, you let me now, you let me, I had doing something, so give me another 6 years. But for the past 5 years or 6 years we'll be talking to, there are so many things that we can question George WEAH on, that he have to explain to the Liberian people. And I hope this time around there should be a debate so we can ask the president all the killings, alleged killing in Liberia under his watch, massive corruption, alleged corruption under his watch. The list go on. Nepotism, favoritism in the government. So many girlfriends that he had that he has in the government. Now who gonna
that's what he said. He has done things. He has done. Now he asking you to fill it in.
So,
let me go to jail. Okay.
So let me just say, this time the president has a record to defend.
This man is very smart. I keep telling you. Let me go to jail. Jay, go ahead. What do you make of that? They started with me. They were with me, which I didn't do anything. They put me here. I've done something. They will re-elect me. What do you make of it?
So what I can paraphrase for him is that, trust me, 2005 up to date, they gave me, the Liberian people gave me a mandate when I've done nothing. And now that I've done something, they will vote for me.
Yeah.
So to have said that I have done nothing suggests to me, maybe I'm not that smart, but it suggests to me that, number one, the president condemned all other things that he boasted of to have done in the past for which he was campaigning on. 1. 2, to me,
we cannot get Jay out of this campaign mode tonight. Forget it. Go ahead, make a statement. Go ahead.
Any human being will do. 2, it will mean that this president is saying that he was not collecting taxes, so he could not have done anything. But my bigger question to him is, he was a senator and he had responsibility along the line. So he needed to have done something, except he said that he didn't do anything, for which he graded the government in the past 80% as a passing mark. But I come to have done something. Yes, the president has done something. Sincerely, the president has done a lot of things. Sincerely, the president and his agents of government have done sufficient things to the Liberian people. Sufficiently, the president has built homes in contemporary history of the entire existence on planet Earth. During the time he is president of the Republic of Liberia, that he was ever in a struggle style history. For true, the president has done a lot of things. For true, there have been ritualistic killings that the president has not spoken to, or the government has not spoken to rapidly as compared to the video that came up, the video that went viral. For sure, in Grand County, or Liberian who are said both Grand and Liberia have gone missing, it is not the concern of the president. So there are a lot of things that he has done.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, you're quite in place because he left that open and he left us to fill it. Sister, go ahead.
So I think though the president spoke facts, and I think this is where people who are running to unseat him have to be very careful about the politics that you use. The president, from what I read between the lines, is that the president is telling people that he understands the electorate.
Yes.
That's what the president is saying. Donald Trump had done nothing in government before. People took him for granted. He understood what red meat he had to put out there to get out the basket of deplorables, according to Hillary Clinton, to get out and make him president. So this president is saying something that deserves the attention of leading political figures. He is telling you that the calculus that you use or that you are using does not work in liberal politics. He is telling you that there were people I ran against that had done things, that had deliverables, that had tangibles according to liberal politicians. And the people saw all those things, and I who did nothing, they voted for me. Now, and I do something small. What that means is that the electorate that voted for me without doing anything has just been increased with added on new people that I would believe in me for the small thing I've done. And so if we were to sit here and try to rehash 2017 election, our candidates will be in trouble with George WEAH. We'll be in serious trouble. We cannot be rehashing 2017 elections on stuff. He did nothing in 2005. He did nothing when he was a senator. We cannot be discussing those because the people knew that and they voted for him.
Right.
And that's the point George WEAH was making in there. It's like the same old story about I was a mobile senator. I didn't know how to speak. They put all this video outside with me, confusing scarcity with supply. They put that video on the poster voted for me. So it doesn't matter. You can put all the video on there. You say, don't post a photo in my finish. But, I will still get re-elected because the man. Then that's the point Joe was saying. So he's trying to let the opposition know, get off your soapbox about me not being eloquent, me not being able to speak English. And when I speak, they say they don't say that they know for inside. All that thing we need to ignore those pieces. That is what
we talk about. The Liberia is conscious to decide our health.
No, but Jay will come to you. We'll come to you. Let's go one at a time.
So hold on.
Go ahead. Say wrap it up so I can bring in another one.
Yeah, George WEAH is saying that he understands the electorate. Now, what the Liberian political landscape, the leaders, opposition political leaders ought to be doing now is explaining to our people how they should determine for whom they vote to lead them. Because in the past, they voted on popularity.
Okay.
Now we need to change that conversation.
Okay, say, okay, let me play this last video. And what the point Sese is making here, there's a video out there, but I'm not going to tell people where it because I want to clip all of the important thing out of it first and do my show, then whatever. But there's a video out there where people from the Finombono to Nagbe and everybody, they spoke their mind, how they feel about the Liberian people. That video is very interesting to watch. Kofa spoke, and you can look for it. But let me play this one here. This is a piece what Sese is talking about, and this is what when I watched the video yesterday, I watched it again last night, I watched it again this morning and this afternoon. I just come to the conclusion that if we're not careful, and that's going to be after the video, when we're done analyzing the video, that's going to be the wrapping up for all of us. What is the way forward as opposition? And we're going to have to talk from deep within our hearts here tonight. And let's hear exactly what is it that we want as Liberian, or what is it that we think those of you that are supporting specific candidate, what exactly can we do to be able to win the upcoming election? Let me play this. It's very interesting. Let me play this.
So you don't need to fight. You don't need to destroy your country. You don't need to even condemn your country. You have to be inspired peacefully, and then convince the people, persuade people. Politics is about persuasion, and it's about what you have done for your people. I have done so much that I don't need pay for. You know why I don't need pay for? Because Liberians love me and they promoted me when I was on a soccer page. You know what I'm saying? And they were proud to be Liberian when I was on the soccer page. And I've done my best for my country. I'm a former peace ambassador. It doesn't matter what people say. I'm on record.
Did you hear that? He didn't mention anything about his leadership. The first thing, he tied himself to past glory when Liberians who are now voting age, or when Liberians, those that were a little bit younger at the time, much older now, they were very proud to be Liberian. He stated that here because of him. I think this man recognized, and I've been saying this here, Mr. George. I think you can attest to this. I've been saying, I think you too, with your little weak, central, not quite liberal way. Sometimes you come to my way, which I appreciate sometimes, but most of the time we are fun. So anyway, but the point here is this: I've always stated this, that this man, his popularity, if these people were able to harness that popularity, nobody will say "fuen" in Liberia. Nobody. But they're so greedy and eating money for themselves, they don't even look at the popularity. And now the president is telling us here tonight, what all I've been saying, that indeed Liberian people love him. And because of that, they're going to re-elect him. Let me start with Mr. George. Mr. George,
Look,
what do you think?
all what he said that he's right. He was playing football. Liberia supported him. Everybody identified with him. He's right. The people he came, the people elected him. They didn't question the ability to lead. They didn't question his qualification. They gave him that he's right. And I say also, opposition, we have to be very careful, because the society in which we have, Liberia, the language of we speak go to the core of those people. So we have to change the narrative, the way we communicate with our people. The question here is, I get all what he's saying, but the voters, we have to ask the real question. We love him, but what have changed in your life for the last 5 years, 6 years? Is it because you love somebody, so you will abandon your family, your children future because of love? Then of course it's not love. Because if you love someone and neglect your family, I don't know how you define that as love. So what I'm saying, yes, Honorable WEAH can say all these things, but we have to question him and also speak to our electorate. We get it. There should be difference between popularity and somebody that will change your life. If at all you only want popularity for this person and you continue to suffer, then the biggest question is, who are you? What do you want? Do you want your country to progress or to continue to regress? Which one you want? Is it because of the popularity? So the language, what he said, everything is correct. And all I'm saying, we should take a cue from there. Opposition. We cannot underestimate this man. He been in power, he got the financial resources, and he can communicate to the Liberian, to the electorate that the way they understand him best. So in order for us to challenge him, we have to start changing the conversation to talk to our voters. What is in taste of a leader that who will be there, that everybody will get share of the power, not just one group of people. Where your country is going, it's not about this individual. The bigger picture is your country. So that is the narrative I will tell our politicians we should start talking about.
Okay.
Not just we are not qualified. No. We
Okay.
should talk
Right.
about
Let me go to
and take the country in.
Okay, thank you. And I like that similar tone. It's a tone of seriousness now. I think, and I know you're not only smart in real life, but you're also politically smart. And you're one of those who will recognize something very quick and make good use of it. So I know you. Let me go to Sissy.
He communicated directly to the voters.
Of course. Let me go to Sissy. Sissy, I know you made a point, and exactly what the point was. That's exactly what he just stated here. But go ahead and beat in your head some more if you can.
Well, look, George WEAH and his group have determined that first-time voters in 2023 will over 1 million now vote for him. So people who were 12 years and up to 17 years when he won power they don't have their history
Hold on 1 minute, sister. Hold on 1 minute. Jay, are you driving or somebody else is? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You're
driving. I'm not driving. I just want to see the children, and I'm okay. I guess in the car. I'm not driving.
So right now you're packed, right?
Yeah, I'm packed.
Because anything happen to you, Kumi's going to go down the drain. We know that. So please.
Even do it.
Okay. So please stay safe. Okay. Go ahead, sister. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
So it's okay. It's good to check on his safety. And so George Weah understands that those people that were at least 12 years old when he won power that couldn't vote for him have lived 5 years with his economy, with George Weah economy, with George Weah security, with George Weah health system, with George Weah educational system. They do not have the blessing of the historical euphoria the past generation of watching play soccer have. And so if you find George Weah is leaving that group out, he's running to the older group to say, remember when I did this? Because they say an older generation of people that remember that. So he has already cast out a part of the electorate that he wants to be his base. That these people, even though they've seen my failures, the things that I did back in the day when I was peace ambassador, when the only positive thing you could hear about Liberia was George Weah. There were only two news about Liberia, Charles Taylor or George Weah. And the only one thing that would make people feel good was George Weah. Please still remember that and vote for me in spite of all of my shortcomings in government. That is the point he's driving. Because he's understood that he cannot make that point to today's generation, the new voters are coming in, because they don't have that. They don't have that blessing. Matter of fact, they're watching play, like way about old school football. Let me watch it, right? Because soccer has changed like everything else. So George Weah is being strategic. He's carving out who this message is going to and what demographic of the Liberian population, the voting population, he's going to target. And he's just way out here. So I think it behooves politicians, including my guy, to make sure that they're doing massive voter registration of new voters, of those people that came of age during the George Weah administration. Those people will be very easy for you to get them to not vote for George Weah. So you set that aside, and now you go to those people who thankfully will be mature enough, like some of us who still remember when George Weah was mesmerized in the world stage. And now you talk intellectual stuff with them and say, okay, we agree. He did really good things for the nation. He actually did a lot of good things.
So that's going to be the next line. You're jumping into my next topic quickly. So let me come to Jay. Go ahead. Were you able to listen to that, or you want me to replay it?
I think I listened to it. It's about the confidence that the president can communicate to his voters at any time and yet get his vote to become the president for the second term, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he went further than that. It wasn't that simple.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead. You got the point. Go ahead.
No, just make it clear. It's
okay,
better.
Just for your benefit, let's replay it. Just 3 seconds, I think. Let's replay it.
So you don't need to fight. You don't need to destroy your country. You don't need to even condemn your country. You have to be inspired peacefully, and then convince the people, persuade people. Politics is about persuasion, and it's about what you have done for your people. I have done so much that I don't need pay for. You know why I don't need pay for? Because Liberians love me and they promoted me when I was on a soccer page. You understand? And they were proud to be Liberian when I was on the soccer page. And I've done my best for my country. I'm a former peace ambassador. It doesn't matter what people say. I'm on record.
Did you get it, Jay?
Yes, I got it. And the president spoke of you don't need to continue.
Before you go there, let me just make one point clear here. My own observation. I think for the president to dig down into the soccer, I think he also recognized that at this point, I think he believes he's in trouble. To go deep way back. And said, Liberian, I think he recognized that he's in trouble politically. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, but and you're right. But the president began on you should not condemn your country. You should not castigate your country. Now, when you make these kind of statements, you should persuade your people. It is about persuasion. Then we all understand that the persuasion is not just merely trying to be that speaker that can motivate people or can drive people, but it is seen to it when you have been given a particular function as to how that function can put bread on the table for the people. So if you reach a point that you say people should not condemn your country, there's some motivation. What is the motivation? The president believes that there are people and his party are expressing that people are lobbying against his interests. So the president is concerned about his second-term bid. And that's why he's bringing the argument in about what he had done in the past, and Liberian will not hesitate to pay him. But indeed, we are paying him. We pay the president for 6-year tenure, for the 6-year presidential tenure. We pay him for 3-year senatorial tenure. What the president has brought for us out of that pay, it minimizes the extent of which we pay him and our women elected in 2017. If the president claimed that the Ballon d'Or, or when we're in Crasset, the other news that we hear is President WEAH score and Liberia Nima would lift it up, and that's the only thing for which we should claim on, and we should not be concerned about the increase of rice. Though government is taking government money to use it to subsidize rice, and the subsidy is not reaching, the country is dirty, we should not talk about it. Auditors are dying, we should not talk about it. International partners are assisting our central bank in order to reduce inflation, and we still cannot reach the threshold. We are messing on international scorecards that we would have done better on at, and because the president is not decisive to take action against his agents of government, and the president said that's condemnation, the president is aware that he will be booted out democratically. You have to understand the minds of the people to all look Liberians. Okay. But the previous action or inaction to have done the right thing had given them more courage that they will silently do the right thing. And President, we will be very surprised, and many will be surprised. But the opposition is never complacent. We are following. That's why we are picking up every information along the way with technology now. We're not dropping the ball anywhere, and we'll keep doing it. And let's see what 2017 result looks like.
Thank you, thank you. And just to say for the sedition themselves, I think, to be honest with you, and I've been predicting this here. I think Mr. George, you also can attest to this as well, that CDC and this South group, they are now going to be tested. The LU, you go to class, instead of you going to class, you're out in there, South, instead of learning, they will be tested. Here is John, and I'm not trying to butter him up here, but why not? He's my young brother anyway. I can butter him up. But here he is. Yes, here. Okay. Yeah, Henry Costa getting ready to get his master degree. Big mouth. But on a very serious note, I'm just naming few. If these young people get to Monrovia and they are given opportunity to go and get on LU campus, and at their sedition, Monuba Molu, Jefferson Kochi, and even what's his name, Nabe, to come and try to defend the government intellectually, they can't do it. They will not be able to survive. And this is what I've been saying to them over and over. Start their sour business. You put all adjectives together and put it on blue. Then he said that big English. Yeah, 4 or 5 adjectives and put it together. Blue, that's the sour. That is in the man on speak.
And I go English.
Yeah. Say you kill me. So no, on a very serious note, I've been saying this, and I think if you're a political junkie like myself, I think this upcoming election is gonna be enjoyable. I hope that there will be no violence. Let Liberians and those who are in charge of the political activities, they should give these young people a chance, so that those of us that like to listen to these young people, let's listen to them. And let's see if they can, if there's anything coming from people like Jefferson Koji, Monuba Moru, and the rest of the young people from the CDC side. I know Sedition, they have some real intelligent people. There's no question asked. But how do you defend? That is going to be the issue. But let me jump on to something I know we're going to be leaving here very shortly. Mr. George, let me ask you this. And the reason I'm bringing this up here, I want us to, like I stated earlier, let us look deep into ourselves. I think Jonathan right now, he's part of the conversation, but we can't get him out of the battle stage tonight. He's stuck in there. He's stuck in there. So let's just agree. Hopefully he will give us one or two neutral point, but he's stuck in his campaign mode here tonight, and so we'll give it to you. We'll give it to you. But Mr. George, let me ask you this. I play you 3 videos here tonight, and I think the last one really struck a chord with you in recognizing what exactly this whole upcoming election, if we're not careful, what will be our undoing. Do you truly believe that all 3 of the political candidates, outstanding and recognized political candidate, okay, all 3 of them, excuse me 1 minute, please. Okay, so that's my daughter, and she's out there and it's getting late, so I have to answer to make sure she's okay. Okay, but Mr. George, I was just asking Dr. Bakai, and no, let me be serious a little bit. Ambassador Bakai, okay, Ambassador Bakai, Councillor Gonglo, Honorable Cummings, those 3 political leaders. With all of these things that we've been talking about here tonight, do you truly believe that any one of those people can single-handedly defeat Dr. WEAH? And if not, what do you think that will be your recommendation to these opposition?
Mr. Todd, to be frank with you, none of people upright can win George WEAH. George WEAH is an incumbent. He has a base. He has an edge. He has a name recognition. And you have 3 opposition. They're going to split their votes. Let's say George WEAH got 50% or 50 plus 1%. What happened to the rest of the people there? The 3 of them split the vote. And even if if one person go to the runoff, how can you bring in other people, the other parties, the 2 other parties to support you? So we have to be very careful. George WEAH is known in Liberia with all his shortcomings, his shortfall. As Cecil was talking, maybe that 1 to 50 group age, that's a serious voting block for George WEAH. The younger age, 30 some more, no. 35, 40, no. So that black is there. He can easily convince most of those people. So that is the problem. So the opposition, none of people can come out. I will not say right now, if election was here tomorrow, none of them can win upright. Tomorrow, if there was election, none of them can win upright. So what I would think the opposition need to, I hope the Barker people should not jump on my back. I think old man Barker and recommend somebody. Say, look, I'm not a statement. I will stay in the background and give advice. But either come here, let this person go as a fire to you, so I can throw back to you, sit down for the betterment of Liberia. I think that's what women should do, and be an honorable statement. Say, look, my interest, I love this country, but I think I will take a backseat now to be in the background. I will recommend someone to go with this person as a running mate, and we will throw our support so we can get this country to change the direction from these people. I think that would be the honorable thing to do. But with all three people going against George Weah, and first round to win upright, no. And the second round, maybe there'll be some bad blood that the two other parties will not want to support the other person. They may not go to the poll, or they will just sit back. And then what will end up with George Weah? So it's very that's it. We have
I mean, and let's look into what Mr. George has stated here, which is for me that's a valid point. But you read or saw quite recently in Ganta where these people are putting together, considering themselves friends of Bakai, huge number. Should Ambassador Bakai looked at a number and still come up with recommendation coming from the central right? Should he do that, or what would be your own take? How do you? I'm asking three questions in one. How do you see the opposition winning this, and can they win individually? Can they beat Dr. Weah, each of them?
So first thing, I don't know why we're talking about three political leaders when Dr. Kassir is still in the race.
Yeah, but I said top three.
Yeah, man.
But seriously,
so
he has a brace?
Yeah, man, that's a business. Man doing people liberation.
Do he has a bracelet? Anger bracelet?
All I know is the man doing people liberation transportation. Now your politics don't bring it to me. But having said that, on a serious note, mathematically it's impossible in Liberian politics, and especially given now, for any one candidate to win first round, and that includes George Weah. Let's just be frank. No one is going to win first round. And I'm going to say this as a Gonglo supporter. Before Gonglo entered the race, we were all very hopeful that whatever combination of Joseph Boakai ABC was going to be, either Boakai Cummings or Cummings Boakai, however way that was going to be the best chance of defeating George Weah, maybe in round one, but definitely in round two. Now that those chances are very slim and far apart, it's not going to be any one political party that can really, just be truthful, say they can win first round. It's not mathematically possible unless we're lying to our people. And on a piece of crowd in Liberian politics, y'all don't forget when Robert Salif pulled crowd in Monrovia against George Weah, he was massively beaten like he was somebody's stepchild in that senatorial race. Y'all don't forget when CDC put the entire blue wave at the sports complex, first for Pauletta Wee, she lost her weave, and then next time for my uncle, the ATM machine, and it did not manifest. Liberian electorates are usually underestimated. Just how the politicians can play the game and can't lie to them. Our electorates, people will wear 5 different shirts and go to 5 different political events to show crowd. They will show the crowd. You bring in food, you bring in money, we will come, we show the crowd. So, but for Mr. Boakai to think, I don't know what the political strategy that Niba Kante, he going through the go fight. Has he not understood that Tewan Gonglo is in the race? Somebody tell you that Tewan Gonglo is in the race. That Nimba Kante is not a place to go. Why you didn't even pick somewhere closer to us that share borders with Lofa Kante? I'm sure, you could have picked Bronx County. Or when you're going through Sierra Leone the other day after that defeat, which way the Ikiolo, Grand Kima or Bapolu. You could have picked any of those same roads to go to and try to have his popularity in check. But look, on a serious note though, you really think Baka is going to step aside in these elections? Do you really think that Cummings is going to go under anybody? Those two people, the ego in the room the ego surrounding them is so toxic that that's not going to happen. So we're just going to have to wait. My only plea, though, my only thing I hope to see from the opposition community that I keep even preaching to my own group when I talk with them, is we all campaign for our candidates and not against other candidates. So I will talk about Tewan Gonglo and what he means for Liberia and what his visions are, according to his lived life in Liberia and what he articulates, the old map that he sat on for me to tell everyone what a new man would look like. I can only do that. But I would never, and I'm going to make that clear here, come on any public media to castigate the personal character of Mr. Cummings or Joseph Boakai. We will talk on the issues because I understand that when my candidate goes to round 2 with George Weah, we will need the ANC folks to come and vote for us. And by getting down into court of politics, it keeps people from coming out to vote for you because they understand what you've done with their political leaders. And I think that's one thing both the ANC and the United Party are forgetting, that they will need the votes of the other political party to go past round 2.
Okay, Jay. Can you hear me, Jay?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Okay.
I'm hearing you.
Look, I stated already, tonight, we're not even going to try to take you out of the campaign more. So go ahead and make your point. I'm not even going to ask any kind of leading question. I'll just let you go ahead and make your point. Go ahead.
So these conversations are meant for critical, in-depth thinking, probably for ourselves, where we stand politically, for how we independently see these things, so that we human, and how the ordinary people who will want or may wish to have the opportunity to communicate in this manner about what is happening on the ground. So sometimes we are not just speaking because we stand on political ground. But if a question is asked, will any of the 3 leading opposition leaders as you named single-handedly single-handedly win President Weah? It's a fair question. The only thing that will embarrass that question is that when I turn the question around, that Weah himself cannot win any of these people single-handedly, then you get problem with it. Because it will be premised on the fact that President Weah won 14 counties in round 2. He didn't win any of those parties in round 1 like that. He won 14 counties in round 2 with a combination of other parties. So the burden cannot get beyond the opposition political parties who are struggling to amalgamate forces as a form of guilt stem on them that they cannot put things together, so they should not be looked at. The business that we're talking, the good thing is said it right. I've been putting common Liberian English. The business that we're talking about now, when we get in Monrovia, it will not be about gathering crowd in Kakata. What have been about, and we have been executing for time in memorial, is about community engagement. How you meet the people in a small bracket and talk to them reasonably about what affects our people. And we've been doing that. We wouldn't need to increase it, especially to inaccessible terrain. That when you place the Gaetan in Grand Jira County, that's what I'm thinking about. How can you infiltrate Bogota? How can you go beyond Seneway, deep in the forest there? That is our concern. And when the message have reached the people, to summon them to make that express decision, 2023, it will be about we are getting some and are getting some. And as long as we assure the people that we'll be in our polling room to protect that vote, and all we need from them is to show their face and express as to whether they are better off today, October 10, 2023, as compared they were before, then it will be their own consciousness behind the curtain. It will be our responsibility to protect that. But more than that, look, Mr. To, we cannot compare 2017 election to 2023 election. 2017 election, it was almost pre-decided that Unity Party cannot rule for 13. Among Unity parties in themselves, it was pre-decided that Ambassador Boakai could not carry the stem of recommendation by his former party in a full support. So there was self-division, which gave rise for the matter of change. And CDC didn't use it wrongly. They label it rightly to say they are on the matter of change. But the effect, the extent to which the transition, the change, is what we are questioning today. And what we see today, it is not changed. You cannot be going to 12 months to an election and you have raised price that it is subsidized by yourself in such an exponential figures, and people are still guessing that about Monday it will be horrible. You can't do that. It doesn't send a clear message.
So, all right, yeah, Mr. George, let me come to you quickly.
Like, it's not an ego in any of whether Councilor Gonglo, whether Ambassador Bwaka, whether Mr. Cummings. I think they are not just agreeing that one person could lead the way through. So they want to go through a free competition to test the process. That is not about it. What our capping for it is that if we all wish that it could combine, that is our wish. It is our hope.
So that was you're stepping into my question now, Mr. George. At this early stage, will you suggest combining now, or would you rather have them individually go through and then perhaps with a clear understanding that if things don't go well, that other person will be able to get the support of the other candidates? Is that the kinds of arrangement you think they need to make?
No. Mr. So let us be frank here. The best thing, if these people love Liberia, if it is not a personal ego, if they love Liberia, this is the best time to come together and lead. But when you go to election, runner up, the other person got a vice president candidate, the guy, the presidential candidate, this other person got there. And the follower at that point, the loser, those people be turn out disgruntled. They will say, hey, that thing talking, I ain't listen to you. There's more responsible. We get into this place. We didn't get to this place. Why you want me to support him? But this is the right time to come together and move forward. And I always say this, if you love Liberia and you want to see the country moving forward, this is the best time. I don't want to blame the election. Oh, you are the cause and you are the cause. Then the same man stay in power. What the benefit of getting by pointing finger? You are just exacerbated the struggle. So right now, those 3 people or 4 men they should put, it's that time to put the pants on and say, look, you know what happened? This is no joke. If we want to move this forward, we got to put personal ambition, personal ego aside. To be a vice president candidate to anybody, that's the second in command. They should decide now. Why when you go on first round, second round, now when you say, oh, come together now, it's impossible. There will be bad blood all over. People will go away and say, look, you know what happened? I ain't bother waiting, I'm gone. And yet you were saying something. This election, talking to the people, I get that. But are you telling me that one person, the first round will win 50 plus 1 with 4 or 5 presidential candidates in it? Are you doing the first one person will win 50 plus 1? It's mathematics. This is politics, it's numbers. So I tell now because you will go all your 4 or 5 presidential candidates, that one person will come up with 50 plus 1. Is that what you're saying?
Okay. All right, I got your point, but I think not only did you that wasn't a question, by the way, but not only if it was a question coming from me, you cleverly have defeated that. But they not only did you defeat it, but you also gave a solution to what I think what the question should have been, and that is, do we come together now? And you're suggesting this is the time. Say, I feel bad for you, but I know the character. I know you. you're an educated person, and you make good living. And so your involvement with the Liberian politician is not to praise worship, but rather to offer solutions, or to align yourself with somebody who will allow you to compartmentalize things as you go along. And I think Gongbel has the ability. The reason why I'm singing this song, because I'm going to ask you a question, and I don't, you among your peers, I don't want people to look at you to say, oh, the man already settled this thing here. It's not about settling things. We're just trying to find solution here for our people. And so I just want to make that clarity as I put my question to you, Sensei. And that is, the question now is to you as an intellectual. Mr. Joyce is suggesting this is the time now to put everybody together, which I think I agree with, because if you do it at this time, by the time you get to the election period, the cooperation, the collaboration will be stronger, because by that time, you have gotten to understand who is what and what exactly you guys do, and what is the message that everyone have to be carrying around. So I do understand, but I also saying that this is it. But Mr. Joyce is suggesting this is the time for all, and I said top three again, for them to come together and have that conversation. What say you?
If wishes were cautious, right, we all would fly. Um, um, Ideally, I would hope Liberia has two political party systems. So in round one, we know who has the mandate of the people. You knock out somebody strictly. If you listen to Jonathan's point, he is quite right. In round one, George Weah had very minimal percentage. And so we have a president.
35%.
We have a president who did not have the vote of the overwhelming majority. He had a vote of the minority. Because if you consider round one, people are telling you not my first choice, right? And so I would wish that the Liberian political system is such a way that we limit the amount of political parties, but we can't. So those are my wishes. And it's the same way to say I would wish that the leading political figures and parties come together to coalesce. But again, that's a wish, because who calls that meeting, and who or what serves as the glue that will keep them together? Sadly, this is Humpty Dumpty. We can't put it back together. I am struggling to see how a Cummins and a Joseph Boakai sit at a table to have a conversation about coming back together. I'm struggling to see a Yombli Kanga in our same room with ability in that same room to have that conversation. It will have to take an actual passionate extraterrestrial supernatural love and patriotism for the republic. And we know Liberian politicians hold grudges. It is not just those we are. All of them, these political parties would have been back together. I have said numbers over and over that I am still expecting that tradition will set the stage for these people to come back together in a room to have a conversation. Tradition in the sense that the older person in this political system will call and Alexander come and say, my son, your power won't talk to you. No surrogates, no special assistant. God, you must have to talk and start the conversation from there. I would have even expected the same Omer Boakai to call his son Tier 1 Gonglo and say, I'm beginning to come to the Papi wants to have a conversation. You can let's talk. I do not think the Tier 1 Gonglo that I know will refuse a call from an elder statesman, Joseph Boakai. I'm not saying that he will go and kowtow to what Joseph Boakai asked him, but I'm saying the Tier 1 that I know will go to them to hear him out. And for what I know of Alexander Cummins, I want to believe that he will go to their call to hear him out. I do believe that it is the onus. That's why when Jay tried to put that on Mrs. Bowie last time, I pushed back. The onus is on Joseph Boakai. We keep talking about tradition in our country. The onus is on the old man to call his children to sit down and have a conversation. But seeing how I'm a realist, I'm a mathematician, I'm a practical, I go with what data tells me, that is not going to happen. So I do believe that all of these political forces, because right now everybody believes they got power, right? Everybody believes they can win.
Yeah.
Joseph Boga go all with the back and they passing by Sierra Leone. When we're on the other side, and you put on Sierra Leone, you're going down there because they got friends of Joseph Boga over there. Oh, let me go tell you, say, oh, somebody telling him that he can win in the back and I didn't go try it out. Joshua is thinking that he can win with the old voters. I ain't go try it out. Arizona Cummings is thinking that he's improved on the last election results. He's saying he's made improvements. He thinks he can win. I think we're gonna try it out. But I do want to believe that past December of this year, a lot of these people are going to recognize really fast and really quickly if they are actually looking at their data and that people are not lying to them. They will realize really quickly that they cannot win in the first round, including George Weah. But I'm focusing on the opposition. And so I think that will create the room where a lot of them will be more susceptible to having the conversation later on than they are willing to have it right now. And so let them go. The only thing I would want all political leaders to understand, including my guy, is that when you look at the data from the turnout, you look at the turnout in round one and compare that to the turnout in round two. The turnout in round two is way less than the turnout, voters turnout in round one.
Yeah.
And so to the point that what Josh was making, if you wait till everybody goes to run, everybody's on the ballot. Now we all selected our presidents and vice presidential candidates. And people lose. Some people, they're not able to bounce back so fast. I mean, electors. Even if the political leader say, I endorse the person who will vote, that political leader will not be able to deliver even 70% of those electors to go back to the pool. I'm not even saying to go vote for another person, but to just make it back to the pool. Voting in Liberia already looked at Mahena in the people team. Then you make it round two. There's less people that will say Mahena in the people team. And so it will behoove these politicians to understand that the data from round one to round two, their own internal pooling, their data, to understand really where they stand and make those decisions for the betterment of Liberia. Because whether the people vote for George Weah or somebody else, I need the Liberian people to have a clear difference. So when they make the decision for George Weah, they understand why they pick George Weah. And when they make the decision for another candidate, hopefully my candidate here won't go blue, they understand why they made that decision.
Okay. Sister, thank you. Thank you very much. Jay, I know, like I said, but you correctly disabused me here quite earlier by saying you guys have the ability, even though you're you're a member of a group, but you do have ability to individually to discuss things from an intellectual standpoint. And I think that's exactly what we're trying to do here tonight. Do you think that you've been around for a very long time with the ANC and this group, and you were around, saw all of the mover and shaker in terms of the conflict and what have you? Do you think there's still room in there for collaboration? You think West is suggesting that people just go ahead and try their luck and see what will happen in the second round, despite all of the drawback that is also enumerated here, that perhaps the drawback might be affecting other people more than well with some other voters. And knowing all of that, will you then say, let's try our luck, and if need be, we come together later, or you guys think it's time to do it now?
Either of the ways, they are not important. They are not insignificant, or they are not exclusive of the other. Either of the ways are quite important. Whether we harness our differences and come under one umbrella. But Cesar said it rightly, that there must be a lead. The lead must either be according to the tradition and according to whom much is given to. If Ambassador Bouaka, as speculated by many of you, is the right person that either Councillor Gonglo, who also supported Ambassador Bouaka 2017, or Mr. Cummings, who went in an election 2017, is they want to go on Ambassador Bouaka, it should be the calling of a particular person. And nobody seems to want to put that weight on Ambassador Bouaka because they think that he's out to be the president by any means whatsoever. So he does not need to carry any burden or play a specific role for the thing that is so much desired. Or it should be the burden of some group of people who can negotiate. And that's why you hear me talking about Madame Bowie. It's not I was saying in the negative, but where women, elders, chiefs can gather together and say, this thing is going beyond our country. Our international partners who have been criticized while democracy works in our country, America, but for their children, Liberia, it are now work, needs to do something. And now that they are doing something by raising the flag, sanctioning people, and criticizing some of the things, it is time that we, the elders and statesmen of the country, take all decisions to advise the people so that record can carry it. None is well done, but in a vacuum, we want it to happen by these actors themselves. That is not really fair. But more than that, if they were to go individually, though they will not win, but in a respectful conversation, knowing that Ambassador Bouaka is a man of integrity, apart from the issue of age, he has played his own role. Alex Cummings has played his own role. Whether be a co-caller in Liberia, for the short time he been in Liberian politics, he has diligently contributed then to destroy the politics. So, if they can go individually and express themselves, I don't see though the voter appetite round two going to drop because some people get disappointed because our candidate didn't perform, but it will still be a rallying call as to whether to leave it as it is because your candidate didn't win, or to still push forward so that we don't go into conditions that will not be favorable when we already have an obvious choice that can be made out of the two persons. So it will be a burden on us per the person who will come second round, and I wish that the CPP will do that. And we will have to reach out to our people, though some of them will not come out, but which are possible. That is why we need a conversation, not looking at Bouaka, Councillor Gonglo, or any opposition as the front target for the CPP. We look at CDC and their missteps and mischiefs as the front target for we the opposition. And that's the way we're going to proceed in dealing with this situation. But least you forget, Mr. Toh, Mr. George, or Sese, none of you over there will want somebody to jack your money bear or take it for you forcefully. The country Liberia is George Weah money bear right now. His officials have been sanctioned. He took less decision on them. Nobody should least think that to get that money back from George Weah is going to be something easy or something just give to you.
Okay.
Yeah, and where I'm going to fight for it, severally, through ideas, innovation, and arguments. I'm going to reach out to our people to give them sufficient reason as it is occurring right now why this president should not be a president. We are paying, I think, even by negligence of our inaction, we have done what we shouldn't have done, and we made him president and he executed. But to overlook the struggling Liberian masses, because they make one wrong decision yesterday, so they can even sacrifice their stomach in the immediate to make another wrong decision, is minimizing the essence of the thought of Liberians to not understand the problem they're going through. I believe that Liberians will definitely make that choice. That's why some of us are going to be there December of this year. We got no business to be there, but we will be there because we need to register. We are advocating that if Guineans can register and vote at ATS, an unsophisticated country called Liberia, Liberians should be able to vote in America here using the data system of America with the assistant and requesting it so that we can popularly participate in the decision of our country. Those are demands that we are coming with. That's how critical we're going to make the election, because we know that America can help us, and the thousands of Liberians here who dual citizenship have permitted them, they can register and make that decision, because we need those to tap on the diaspora knowledge as well. We will remove George Weah democratically. That one got no issue to it.
Thank you. And as I predicted earlier, he gave us the intellectual individualism point of view. However, as well, I'm not going to beat it to death. Mr. George,
Yeah.
you and I were not about. I mean, what? I'm still 45. I mean, I'm still 25. But on a very serious note, you and I we'll go a little bit back than these two gentlemen. Do you think, and it's very saddening for me to bring that up, but that's life. Do you think the old progressive, Dr. Cassidy, Marcus Matthew, even Dr. Sawyer, the reason I'm not going to call Tipote and Family, Dr. Tipote and Dr. Family, seem to me that they are not willing to have the young people lead them, to help the young people to lead them. They want to lead themselves. So I'm not going to put them in that category. But do you think that perhaps this particular situation that is happening right now with the political opposition and not coming together, perhaps if you think if we have the principal, the teacher, and all of those people, you think if we had them still alive, you think they would have been able to contribute to try to talk to these people to see reason to come together? You think their contribution would have been welcome, by the way?
I don't know, because they suffer from the same problem of coming together to go against Dole.
Yeah, but they were young.
Okay, so maybe they could use that as a reference point to say that this is what we did and this is why we did not get this man out of office. So I think we'll learn a lesson from that. So we don't want people to repeat the same mistake that we did. So they could use that also to tell them we have the mark on the sky is on us, because we did not go together at the time, thinking that going individually we were going to win. And it ended up we lose everything. So, and this is the same place we find you people at now. So from our experience, we think you people should come together to, if you want to unseat this man and do it, get together now and do it. But look at see something. You see election, I mean, you see politics, you see religion, those things can destroy family. Those things can destroy brother and sister that they will not speak forever. So to say, oh, we'll go in and then we'll talk to the other people who will come and ask, is it ready? But no. When some people are defeated, they turn about and say, I ain't got nothing to do with it again. But Kennedy did not go the second round. I'm done. I don't care who come and talk to me. I'm done. So we have to be very careful to say, hey, when we get to this point, we'll convince people to come over. No. So why not do it earlier? Build up that days, build up momentum to go into it instead of you waiting and say we're going to go second round, and maybe it will come to the second round, and we will talk to the group to come over. No, I cannot put my hand on it. That's Liberia. If it was the Western world, I would say okay, but Liberia, no. And as Sister Rector put it, the first-time voter, if you look at our data, the statistics, and the second round will be less. Because when some people, the candidates lose, they're gone. I don't care what the leader say, they're gone. So why not prepare for it now to go? But let me say this. These people are talking. There are some backdoor channel people are talking. They are discussing on things. I can surely tell you from my sources. People are having some conversation.
Who are your sources? Yeah, you come again tonight again with this sources business. You brought us some senator. We know it need now. You coming with sources. Who's your sources?
It's a journalist. You cannot disclose his source.
Yesterday, sister, I went somewhere. I met a guy again, and we were talking, and the issue about people making contribution to Liberia, and I said, "Oh man, there are Liberians who are highly educated, have offered the services, but your government has refused." He said, that cannot be true. Who are they? I said, okay, I will bring these guys so they can talk to you and you can talk to them. He said, how do people say they want to go help? Who's going to pay them? I said, oh man, these people are going there. They are continuing to do things to the country that they not even been paid. And I gave him an example. I said, you see the door community? He said, yes. I said, you see the road to the vice president office? He said, I mean, whom? I said, he said, yes. I said, it's the engineer that one Samson Bronto, that's his design. I said, he will not pay 1 cent, but he offered. He talked to a past minister, the late Mamputi Yimpa, the current one, and some other government official, but they had not accepted his offer. I said, another professor, I said, by the name of Sisse, who offered to help to rewrite the curriculum of Liberia. I said, they turned him down. He said, I want to see them. I said, okay, I will make the arrangement. One, I get in touch with Mr. Tool tomorrow, so we'll make the arrangement. I called him the evening, but they were in a meeting. So he will come on so you can face him and tell him. But this is the thing. So that's just the thing I talk about when I talk about sources. But actually, I talked to somebody in Monrovia. They are looking at some possibility that these people will have to come together. If
You know what? Okay.
Yeah.
I trust you. I trust you so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sisse, and I think we're going to be wrapping it up here. So let's just do 5 minutes and then we'll wrap it up. Let me ask you this though. And you and Jay, you guys are in a very tough position. And it's not like you can't make living outside of Liberia. You do, and you can, and you have, and you will continue to do that. But when you look at, when you came here, you met some Liberians who are also intellectual. But the fact that they were not able to go home, they still want to, but just like your situation, and they refuse to accept them. And these people, Samson Toe included, their strength has been milked out completely, almost. So you right now, your strength hasn't even gone halfway, so to speak. You're still able to get up and do a lot more for that country than 2 or 3 of the people that are doing things over there right now. This election, what does it really, really mean to you? Besides supporting a candidate, what does it mean to you as a Liberian intellectual here in the United States who's making a good living? You don't even have to be involved, you still live. But what does it mean to you? Why are you, I asked you that question last night, I'm asking you, what does it mean? Why are you so much involved in it? When you could have gone, after teaching tonight, why you even here talking about it? Hey, you're supposed to go and read and then make your money. The more coming in, you're supposed to get paid. But on a very serious note, what does election mean for you?
So I have to teach tomorrow, and tonight, instead of making lesson plans, I'm on here talking about Liberia, right? There's how much that bro means to me. But I want to preface this conversation because quite too often, when diaspora Liberians speak about their talents and their skill set, what other people understand it to be coming through those ears is that we are looking for jobs.
Yeah.
And and this is not about boasting, but the job I got here, what I make here, I wouldn't even make it as Minister of Education in Liberia if I'm not stealing in Liberia. I teach, in addition, I do a bunch of consulting for textbook companies and stuff. So I'm okay. And so I am interested in the next Liberian election for so many reasons. Number one, selfishly, I want to be able to keep some of my money here. As I told you, you know what? When I file my taxes and tell me how much money I made, and I'm looking at what people going at, and you got all of these same wave receipts before they all money going with it.
I thought I was the only person.
So when I pull on my shoes, I don't get mad with myself.
So this is about me trying to keep some of my own money here to build wealth for my own family. I got children.
Know.
But I'm supporting kids in Liberia that are not even related to me. I'm supporting orphanages in Liberia. I'm supporting projects in Liberia. I'm traveling to Liberia and doing things. All of those money could be put into Roth IRA or into college fund for my kids. But I'm not doing that. I'm prioritizing the other children in Liberia who, but for posterity, don't have the same access my children have. And so I do this because I told you before, I am a child of teen parents.
Right.
Um, and I understand there are so many teenagers having kids in Liberia. But for the fact that posterity, what are my ancestral blessings or the blessings of European gods, there were some blessings I got here. Where I was born and to the parents I was born, statistics states that I should not be where I'm at. I shouldn't be here. My mom dropped out of school in the 3rd grade. My dad had me when he was in 11th grade. For 2 years after I was born, I didn't see my dad. My mom had one laptop she would tie on her back and carry me around from people's farms to beat rice for people. So they gave her the fennel, the fennel rice is right when you beat the rice, the small one. So they gave her the fennel rice
Right.
for her to make poto rice for me to eat. She would wash her one laptop and put on the sun. And while she is naked, she and I would go hide. She would hide in the bush, sit in the bush, and wash her laptop, watch the laptop to get dry to get us up. My dad ended up with Peace Corps, went to vocational training in Clay in Bowman County, and then ended up working for Lamco and sent himself through night school, and then ended up at LU, got a degree as an electrical engineer, worked as a chief technician for LBS. They built all the those local radio stations in Vanderma and everywhere. He was a teacher technician on them. So I understand what it means to come from a poor family, to come from families that have to strive to feed you. I understand what it means to come from. My mom had 7 other kids besides me with the other husband she had. And I understood what poverty meant. I'm one of those students who used to walk from RC Lawson in Kungwata all the way to 20th Street Beach beyond JFK. That's where I used to live, in the madhouse, in the outside room of a madhouse. So I understand poverty. I understand people striving to make it out. And so because of that, Mr. Toad, that's the reason I am so passionate about helping Liberians, because in those days when I struggled, there were some people who would look at me and say, "Oh, my senior, can't we find out message and pay away tomorrow? I can't eat small cassava gravy on the side." I want to be able to give that same cassava gravy back to people. And that's why I do what I do for my country. Whether I'm giving financially or whether I'm giving of my talents, that's what I do, because I want to change the story of Liberian children. I want to change the story of Liberian mothers who have children like my mother had me, and society have nothing in place to support them. There is nothing in Liberia that supports single parents. Nothing. No system, none whatsoever. Even though we had the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, there is no social welfare in Liberia. And so when you ask me some of the reasons why I'm this passionate, that I will be in my college classroom and I will leave and sit on college campus till late to be on this network to speak, is because I know, Mr. To, what it means to go days without food. I lived it. And I don't want any child in Liberia to go through that. We are in the 21st century. We ought to be organizing together. The president and the republic ought to be calling us a call to Liberians to fight hunger in Liberia. That should be a call of a national government. Madam Ellen didn't do it. George Weah has not done it. I'm dreaming of the day that my president will call on me in the diaspora and say, "I need you to bring all of your talent. Let us fight zero hunger in Liberia, regardless of who's in power." If George Weah calls on me tomorrow for that, I will be in Liberia. How can we raise money? How can we ensure that we kick out hunger in Liberia? How can we ensure that we kick out childhood disease, these things that affect our children from having access to quality education? So you ask me in a nutshell, my life story is why I don't want another child to live. And so because of that, I would do my all to ensure no other child has to live the way I live.
Okay. Thank you. I think we all have similar story. Those of us that were born in the countryside or come from a poor background, I think we all of us. Jay, I know we went through that before, so I'm not going to ask you again. But at this time, what exactly you're trying to achieve here? Let's put it that way. What is your expectation out of this upcoming election?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I guess you can hear me too, right?
Yeah. So did you get the question?
So the question, I think it is about what the election mean for us.
No, what is that? What is your expectation?
What is my expectation of the election?
Yes.
Firstly, I'd like to say on the book, elections measure itself as a barometer to measure democracy. Regular election especially. And the examples I can point to is the example of Argos, is the example of Ghana. It is an example of many other countries that are carry on regular elections, and their democracy have been stable.
Okay. All right. Okay, Jay. I think we'll go ahead and just make that your closing because I think you're driving. So here we go. All right. Mr. George, give us your closing here so we get out of here.
Yeah, look, really, what
Yeah, I
is,
can hear you. I can hear you.
yeah, I said, really, what Sister said was just in my closing.
Yes.
You know, the story that Sister narrated. What did Bush say? I would say Sister Bah, he was all right. Yeah, at least he saw the banana peeling. What do I mean by that? I never saw my biological father. I don't know him. People just say, oh, you look like your father. My mother told me when I was born, other sister, he died mysteriously. So my mother had 7 children living in the village. No man will marry me again with 7 children. No.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine living, coming to Monrovia. I was like a homeless child. I used to sleep in the street.
Mm-hmm.
So when Sister was saying that, it brought tears to me. Some of us are here today when we talk about Liberia, because some of us know what it means to be hungry. What it means that you can't sleep. You go to a friend, they say, my man, we ain't got no space, oh, you got to sit down, just sit in the chair. And the next day, you go to school, walk to come back, no food. So somehow when we're talking about the country, it's not that we hate the leaders, but because the experience that we are going through, we don't want the next generation to go through that. It is why sometimes we come into back, we're talking. It's not that someone hate any leader. We just want someone that will do the right thing. So what we experienced, what we went through, what we fed, those children cannot fall in that same category. So, you know, that would just be my takeaway to Liberian people, that many times we come on these stations, when we're talking today, it's not that we hate people, but we know exactly the single mother in Liberia, what she goes through. The same thing. Mother used to go on the farm. They'll be the last to come in the town because they want to pass behind the horse and just sneak in. When they're talking in the town, they are not women that they call. They see that they say, no, don't talk to that person, ain't got anything to call them. Don't even call them yet. But we experience all this, and so we don't want the next generation children to go through this. Even if they don't have parents, society must be able to stand for them, to help them, to navigate the system. So when we're here, when we come, we're not seeing it because we hate people. Oh, we want the job. No, we just want the right thing to be done because we know some of what we went through. We never got it on a silver spoon or on a silver platter. No. Some of us strive for ourselves. But we're giving back to our country, to our fellow Liberians, because we know we have been in that shit before.
Thank you. Thank you. Sissy, you gave it all here tonight. I think we appreciate it. And that's what I say usually when we come out here. Once we face the camera, we are exposed. And so sometimes you'll come out and make some statement, not necessarily wasn't the plan for the night, but these are things that get you going in terms of what motivates you. Like my 18-year-old son would say, he will not fail because he doesn't like to be homeless. Like some of the homeless people, that's terrifying. Every time we drive by the homeless people, he turns his face. I don't want to go to school anymore, but because of this, I kind of have to push myself, he says, all the time. So I think, Sissy, thank you very much. And I think many people, not just you alone, many Liberians talk about Liberia because of their past experience and what they want. Because many of them are here in the United States. In this place, even if you're not working, you can go to Google and get canned food. You will eat something. Not in Liberia, when you don't like it, and once you don't have it, bamboo water said you can't find it. Bamboo water, you can't find it. How you get it? Because you even get it for who will let you go on a farm to go cut palm tree to get bamboo water? I beg you, So it's very important. It's very important. But let me leave here on a lighter note, and I hope that you two will agree with me. If you don't, please jump in. And that is, I believe CDC and the surrogates, they're in serious trouble, especially clinicians that are working back home. They are not hungry. The opposition surrogates are hungry, and they can see clearly. Because if you're hungry, your eye go everywhere. You look at Eugene Nabwe, Eugene Fagon. Eugene Nabwe eating lobster and baby lobster. You see Eugene Nabwe, Eugene Fagon eating baby lobster. You think you will see it, you will not see it because you're eating the city. And that's liberally, that's what it is. So I think this upcoming election is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. If CDC wants to keep power, they're going to have to defend their record. It's difficult to defend something when your stomach full like that. So you're muted, or say if you're trying to say something to me?
No. I'm okay. I'm listening to you.
Okay. All right. So I'm just saying it's going to be very interesting. But overall tonight, I think we've done a wonderful job. From time to time, we'll come in here and try to have the debate about who did what. But from time to time, I will try to find time so that we can discuss what is on our mind. Because we come out here and say, people think you're defending this, and say, what is your reason? Are you just here wasting your time? And that's why sometimes it's good for to have these kinds of conversation. I want to thank both of you tonight. Jay is now with us. Yes, go ahead.
That CDC talking, there's an internal wrangling within the CDC. There's an internal wrangling struggle going on in CDC. And how, President, we are going to put the factions together for the national election, I want to see, because people like Dr. Tenney and Lester Tenney, then they come out making all the kind of assertion on TV, on radio, about how the government is running the country. And they will be walking back to defend so many things.
Those people are called them McGill Stooge. They don't impress me. They don't impress me.
That brings something though. We didn't talk about it, but I hope we talk about it another day. McGill in Margate County.
Yeah.
If McGill decides to run, that's going to further split the CDC.
Big time. Yes.
Big time.
Okay. That's going to be our next play. In fact, I'm going to push Alfonso for me to run tomorrow's show. that conservative idea that we're not going to deal with that tomorrow. I'm going to run the show tomorrow.
Also, tonight you are all right. You didn't complain.
Because you were not here to silence me, and you and him together tonight. Well, I'm okay with it tonight. But you're not here. You can't.
So you accuse me. You accuse, is it?
No. Everything fine. Everything.
You read the comment section. Eh? You were in the comment section.
All right, guys. Thank you. Let's meet tomorrow again. Have a conversation. Thank you very much, Mr. So. We'll be back tomorrow, folks. Thank you very much, Mr. George. Thank you. Again, folks. Samson told LIBERIA Favorito. I want to thank all of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. I like the young people, Sissy and Jonathan. I like them, and I also like Mr. George anyway. But what Sissy and Jonathan, to bring a different perspective, especially from the young people's side. And that's what we've been wondering, to have young women here. We've been asking to get CDC, young sedition. But the problem is, are they going to come in, especially sedition? Are they willing to come in and discuss intellectually? Well, we're not here to just say, oh, the person this, the person no. You're going to have to defend it. That's fine. But you're going to have to do it intellectually. And I'm not saying sedition are not able, but they're going to have to send somebody to see if they can join us. Other than that, folks, it's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. Samson told LIBERIA Favorito, beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening here in Sacramento. God is wonderful. God is great all the time, never fails. I want to thank all of you, and I will see you guys tomorrow night when Mr. So is here, where the liberal progressive will be the counterweight. I'm not going to let him and Mr. George push me around. Far from it. I'm a liberal progressive. Cool. But one thing you notice, if you notice a few days, I don't say you hate fame, my hate fame, because people they've been complaining big time. So I'm not going to say that one against that. Why not? Do you see the fear I got? If I do something people don't like, I say, okay, well, let's move on. I'll leave it alone. Because why we're here to make sure that you, the audience, have the opportunity to watch her and engage her. And because of that, we will try to do the best to make sure we bring you the best. Thank you very much, and good night, folks.
Aha! Wakaba, my baby, twambe usonga. Wakaba, kaswiti twambe uwina. Mama meka na kusaku wanye ni maela. Mama mekwa umasaku wanye ni mona. Niwa mabwetyo samba sange wasiamana. Measya tulisoma chinyene nagu. Mateseka na wendo witondi wa moja. Mateseka na wendo witondi wa keshua nekolia. Telemaiva ni utongoza. Telemaiva oine namba. Telemaiva tuichaji. Ninokalika boxi yawa. Eka malonze nimeuvinya singila singila kandolo kokele kandolo kokele Ukabangu tabiende tosimoyo Aba ukabangu tabiende tosilato Wendo wimoyo uira utetanga Kiteri chaku cha wendo ni changwatisie Kiteri chaku cha wendo ni chanasie Mapenzi maku makitie unwachonze Mapenzi maku makitie unwakelai Niwa mabwetyo samba sange wasiamana Measya tulisoma chinyene nagu. Mateseka na wendo witondi wa moja. mateseka na wendo wito ni wakeshua nekulia telemaiba ni utongoza telemaiba uile namba telemaiba tuichaji ninokalika boksi yawa kama lonze nimeubinya singila singila katalo kokele katalo kokele Asanda Elevax Media Farms Wemakwa Kalengwa kawananza kuwengebelingi Kalengwa kabusonza kuwengebelingi No uwenza kuwalingi baby yawa No uwenza kuwalingi baby wishwa Ilobida